Hi guys, and welcome to the Metal Lab. How you doing, Tom?
Oh, all right. It's the first Metal Lab podcast of 2023.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a break, hasn't it, since the last few, but obviously we have been busy doing things. We've not just been doing nothing.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll be able to bring you the very best in metal as it stands right now.
So this podcast is called...
This is a bit of a new old school. So I'm starting to see a lot of the new bands coming out really having that old school sound from what we remembered from back when we were kids, really.
Yeah.
And there really seems to be a resurgence in this, and I'm liking it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's the old man in me that's
Mm-hmm.
almost a little bit of, oh, this sounds a little bit like this and a little bit like that kind of thing. So there's a bit of nostalgia in there, but there's also some fantastic new things coming out. So hopefully the bands that we've got for you this episode will showcase that.
It's very weird how it's gone full circle now, hasn't it? Because obviously the new wave of British heavy metal was just coming through as we were kids.
Yeah.
And now we can sort of hear that in a lot of the influences now. Which is really, really strange.
And I'm guessing it's where people today are starting to, growing up with those influences from their dads, or their even granddads now, as we're getting to that age, coming through. And so, the new generation has definitely got something new to say, even though there is that old school sound. So the first band we're going to be listening today is Cardinal X. So you can tell me a little bit about them?
Yeah, they're for a four-piece from London.
Okay.
We've featured them a few times on the Metal Lab. Yeah, we've had an interview. We filmed them at the Metal Lounge.
We did, so that was last year, wasn't it?
It
when we
was,
did that?
yeah.
That was a great gig,
really, really good. So they're from London.
Yep.
They've got a very old school sort of metal sound to them as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they're very cool. They've got four members, so they've got Jimmy James on vocals, Sean Dunn on guitars, they've got Aid Keeley on bass, and John Kane on drums.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, they're very weird, sort of really sort of very sort of fast riffs and sort of that old sort of school.
Yeah, there's a little
sound.
bit of progressive sound in there as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's check them out. So what's the name of the song?
This is their brand new single called Dark Water.
Let's go.
against my skin. The whirlpool gathers pace now, drags me under, pulls me deeper. The sound of something ancient, the oldest sound within.
So that was Cardinal X with Dark Water. So yeah, so you can definitely hear those old school sounds coming through with the new wave as well.
I actually love it. It's such a really good track, and well done to the guys. It's an amazing track.
Yeah, and if you can get to see them live, make sure you do. Like I say, it was a really great show.
Yeah, they are playing some festivals this year as well.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, so if you get the chance, definitely check them out.
Yeah, check their Facebook pages and everything, because they've got all of their recent, like, you know, the tours that are coming up as well. So yeah, and the festivals that they're going to be doing. So
yeah, brilliant. So the next band we're going to be talking about, again, it's keeping in with that theme of old school sound seeping into the new school.
Yeah.
And this band is called Approach with Caution. So again, so can you tell me a little bit about those guys?
These guys are from Bristol, but they get their roots from Kings Lynn.
Oh, right, okay.
They don't like to generalise themselves as a certain core or a certain genre.
Right, okay.
They have a mixture of new metal, metalcore, so a bit of a mixture of everything. So
Right,
they don't like to sort of pigeonhole themselves into one genre, which I think is cool.
Yeah, I think most bands are like that. And again, from when I was in bands, obviously you really hope to be the next big new thing.
Definitely.
But obviously everyone has influences. And yeah, I think these ones had a bit of more of that new metal influence. So whereas before Cardinal X had sort of that old school progressive, this is almost old school new metal kind of influences in there.
Yeah, well, speaking to Lewis, the drummer as well, he said that they're trying to sort of venture into sort of some death metal as well, which will be quite interesting to sort of hear that.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah.
So these are 4-piece.
They are, yeah. So we've got Lewis on drums and vocals.
Yep.
We've got Jack on lead guitar and vocals. We've got Arrow on rhythm guitar and vocals, and then we've got Isaac on the bass.
Oh, okay. So a lot of I expect a lot of harmonies and things.
Vocals, there's quite a few vocalists as well, which is quite cool.
Oh, nice. So yeah, that gives that little bit of difference to what we normally sort of hear from
what we are playing as well. This is the whole thing from the last sort of year to 18 months that we've been playing.
Yeah.
A lot of the newer stuff coming out is completely different to what we've sort of played on previous podcasts and what we've actually sort of been to as well and listened to, which is quite interesting how it's evolving so quickly.
Yeah, and again, like you're saying, it's that cycle, isn't it? Bringing in that old, putting new touches onto it to bring you something new. So let's listen to Approach with Caution. And what's the track?
The track is called Dethrone.
Let's go.
Burn
So that was Approach with Caution with their song Dethrone. So again, really good track.
Very, very cool. I'm really excited to see what they're sort of, what's going to come in the next sort of year with these guys. I think they're sort of going to sound very cool and very different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of different elements, which I really love about a band, that they can just sort of stretch their sort of, the way that they sing and stuff. And yeah, it's really cool.
Well, like I say, with all the different vocalists and things you're going to have about them.
Definitely.
So we're going to go a bit further abroad for the next one. So this is a South African band.
Yeah, we head on over to jet plane and into South Africa, where we have a lot of followers in South Africa. It's a very, very sort of very lively metal scene at the moment in South Africa. We have a lot of big following from South Africa.
Well, Franz from Franz Planet has definitely helped with that, hasn't he?
We have a lot of bands that have sort of jumped on board from South Africa, haven't we? Which is very cool. Thank you very much for all your support from everyone. Yeah, it's been really cool.
So so if you are a band from anywhere in the world and you'd like us to give you a review or just have a listen and try and spread the word out, get in contact either here on the web, on YouTube, or on our Facebook group. Just come join, come listen to all the fantastic bands that are out there. And if you're a brand new band and you're looking to get heard, there's no better place to come than the Metal Lab for that.
Yeah, like this band. I mean, this band are called Diverted Disorder.
Yeah.
Okay, so their bio that they've sent to us.
Yeah.
They say, in a time of disorder, a mythical creature ascended from the ashes of a better time. Locked away in the basement of Southern Africa, the beast is unleashed with the world domination ringing in its head. Music with a hint of alternative rock.
Nice.
Blues blended with a thrashcore and death metal to create a melodic perfection.
Oh, very nice. So so again, there's elements of that old school sounds being mixed into something new.
I think they're sort of quite a bit of a, they don't take it too seriously either, because obviously their lead guitarist and vocalist is called Hardman.
Obviously.
Yeah, okay. And then we've got the rhythm guitarist is called Prawn.
Right.
Exactly. And then we've got Chris and Mike who are on drums and bass, so I think maybe they're a little bit more serious. So
we never know, they might be the comical ones.
Exactly.
And just decide to call themselves normal names.
Exactly, yeah. But it's just cool just to be whoever you want to be, really, isn't it?
Exactly.
You know?
And for me, that's one of the joys of metal music. It's that ability to be who you truly feel you are, and to actually put that out and not being afraid to be who you are, and to show everybody, this is me, come and love it.
Definitely.
So what's the name of the song?
The track that we're going to be playing is Ambitions.
Let's go. diverted disorder with ambitions. So another nice track.
Yeah, I really like. I mean, as I said, the South African metal scene at the moment is just bulging at the seams. They're coming out with some amazing like bands. I mean, you know, when we started this, the Metal Lab 3 years ago, I didn't even have an inkling that
how big,
how big it was, and then we met Franz, and then all the bands have come on board. And the whole music scene for me in South Africa, I was so shocked. As some of the brutal, heavy death metal bands are coming from there, you know.
Yeah, there seems to be a real big push for that kind of sound, isn't there?
And then our first band I think we got on board was Truth Decayed, and they were really cool, you know. And they've just sort of got from strength to strength.
They're still doing fantastic.
They're doing brilliant, yeah.
So carrying on with music from around the world, our next band is from Pennsylvania, New York.
They are, yeah. These guys are very sort of melodic-y, sort of synth band, aren't they? There's a lot of synth sort of in the track.
Which is quite, and again, going back to some of that old school, so the metal band I was in, Bintra, in the early 2000s, I played keyboards in that and synths, and there wasn't that many bands around that had that as one of the main instruments and going on from that, so it's quite nice to hear that that's still relevant in today's sound.
Well, yeah, because I sort of, you know, when the kids and the young ones are listening to it, it's nice for them to sort of hear and capture that sort of sound that we grew up with as well. You know?
And I think again, because the technology now is advanced, people can actually produce at home. It's much easier to be able to add in strings, to add in different sounds. And I think people are not so afraid to add different sounds and different instruments into their music.
Definitely.
When we was younger, if you was a metal band, it was guitars, bass, drums, vocals, that was it. There was nothing else really. Maybe a few keyboards if you was...
And I think it's important as well, we're just going to go, before we go to the track, it's encompassing with the name as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, the sound and the image really matches the band's name as well, which I think is really sort of, it keeps that old school sort of name as well, doesn't it?
It does,
you know?
So this is Severed Angel, and the track is
A Fate Worse Than Death.
So that was Severed Angel with their song A Fate Worse Than Death. And as you said, you can definitely hear those synths sort of coming through.
And it's such a cool old school name as well, isn't it? Severed Angel.
Yeah.
You know? So it just goes back to that sort of 80s sort of early 80s sort of sounding band.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, again, those influences are definitely coming through strong on that.
Yeah.
So the last band we've got for you in this episode, again, is not from these waters. This is a band from Malta.
It is indeed, yes.
So again, not necessarily a place you'd associate with metal, but as we're finding, metal is everywhere, as it should be, which is quite nice. So can you tell us a little bit about this band?
Yeah, so this band is the band that just reached out, obviously, on for submissions.
Yep.
These guys were formed in 2015. So they're an old school thrash metal band.
Okay. So,
So they're influenced by the early sort of 80s Bay Area movement and like in the 80s.
So Exodus S.
Exodus and all that. Yeah. So they're quite a cool band. I don't really know much about them because they've just sort of come to us. So what we do know is just a little bit, but obviously we'll be featuring them and stuff and doing some work with them. So that's quite cool.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So they're a 5-piece band, which is quite interesting. So they've got Luke DeBonner on vocals. They've got Joseph Mamara, he's on guitar and vocals, so again, more vocals. Oliver Ferrugia on drums. We've got Sean Ferrugia on guitar and Sean Attard on bass.
Oh, okay, so starting to see sort of those multiple vocals and things coming through.
Which is really interesting, isn't it? It's sort of, as I said, it's gone full circle again now, hasn't it? Which is quite cool. So,
yeah, it's quite nice getting to hear all these bands. And again, like I say, this band reached out to us, and so if you'd like to reach out and get featured, then please do so.
Definitely.
So what's the name of this band?
Well, this band is called Murdoch 104. So that's Murdoch, that's MUR DOC 104. So
okay.
I'm not sure whether that's just like
a play for
words, or
if you're as old as we are and you'd remember the A-Team, whether it's a play onto that.
Definitely, these guys might have, had a big thing for the A-Team. Who knows? But yeah, I'm sure with more investigation and more sort of, fact finding with the band, we'll sort of find the information out on some sort of interview or something. And so, so.
And this is self-titled, this track, is that right?
It is. This is called Murdoch 104.
Will. Last dream is settled, far and wide, desolation.
So that was Murdoch 104 with their self-titled track Murdoch 104.
Yeah, definitely. And they've just released this year the EP The Undying.
Oh, nice.
So that's available on all the social media streams as well, so check that out.
Yeah, and for all these bands, make sure you do go check them out, whether it's on Facebook, whether you find them online, wherever it is you get your music. Make sure you go give them your support. And whilst you're there, see if there's any other new bands that you may like. If there's any bands that you find just like, why doesn't everybody know about this, let us know so we can then let the world know, because for us metal is the fabric of music that brings us all together.
Especially underground metal, this is where the roots, it all starts, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, and we've been lucky enough to go to a few shows lately, and again, if you check out our In the Pit series, you'll get a chance to see some of the bands we've managed to see.
Definitely.
And it is all about getting out there, just seeing the music, just giving these bands a chance. And again, like you always say, you never know, there could be your next favourite band.
Honestly, you know, all it takes is you to listen to one track and then you buy a t-shirt, you go to the gig, and before you know it,
you're hooked.
You're hooked, and that's like me, I'm always hooked. You know, you know, I just, every band I love, and I just love watching and I love the scene. You know?
And especially at the moment, it's for these bands that are getting up on their feet and getting out there, they need all the support you can give them.
Definitely.
So if you ever see a local band advertising the gig, do what you can to go out and see them. Show them your support. The more we go out to see live music, the more reason there is for venues to put live music on. And it's that circle of life. If you put on a show, people will come, but you do need to go to make sure those shows can keep happening, because it's an unfortunate way of the world. If the venues don't make money, then they don't put the shows on, and then live music has a harder time getting out there.
It is very tricky, and this is why we're here to sort of give as much exposure as we can for these bands. I mean, some of these bands I've never heard of until I've discovered them.
Exactly.
And obviously, you know, the amount of research that we both do, people don't do that research.
No.
So for us, it's just, you know,
and again, if you're not the kind of person to do the research, just come to us and we can show you the very best in underground and unsigned bands.
Definitely.
So, for all your news, reviews and interviews, join us at the Metal Lab,
the home of underground metal.